This is the book of Habakkuk 2, verse 3 in the NLT. This vision is for a future time. It describes the end, and it will be fulfilled. If it seems slow in coming, wait patiently, for it will surely take place. It will not be delayed. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem, Rakakadash. Double honor to the elders and the apostles of great millstone who rule well and teach well. Shalom to the feel like men that scattered abroad, pushing the truth without sincerity. Right, and also shalom to you very few sincere sisters. Right, I'm brother I'm one coming to the video Lord when it's edifying. Open up the book of Habakkuk, right? Because this vision, the vision I'm speaking on is what? Uprising of the people, right? Cannibalism. A man should have no pity upon his neighbor. Right, because of the food shortages, for great tribulation, this is springing forth, right, as we can see with Trump, pushing the November 1st EBT situation, right, the stamp benefits, and I have a couple videos queued up, pretty much how you got a stud was speaking on it, and she was saying, you got the site itself was saying, which I will show that, by November 1st, it will be off. So you got all of this week to pretty much get what you can. And with that being said, just be circumspect, because we know if shutdown is coming, it will be wise to, grab a couple of items. But hey, it's a lot of videos that have been going around talking about how the people are going to start looting. People want to start waiting for you to come outside with a whole bunch of groceries. And take your items, So this weekend will be a heavy weekend. And hey, then like that is Halloween weekend, right? And this month itself is filled with spirits, man. This is one of the high satanic folly days, high days on the left hand side. So best believe a lot of folks will not be making it to Monday, So with that being said, like I said, the love of many gonna wax cold. A man should have no pity upon his neighbor. Right, you're gonna see a lot of those things once this EBT is cut off, man. So I'm gonna take this first clip. Just one of the clips that I have, this older man was speaking on. All right, and hey, these Edomites is ready, and everybody's ready, But hey, that's prophecy though, because why? People going to be what in a spirit of wanting to take, because why? The government, has shut down a benefit that a lot of people was depending on. This is the reason why. Matter of fact, let me grab that scripture right quick in the book of Isaiah. This is what happens when you so attached to this system, right? Why us like-minded brothers, and you feel-minded sisters, hey, we in the spirit of, hey, we ready for this bitch to fall, man. This is what we've been waiting on, Because we know the Lord can provide for us anyway, so we ain't trimming about nothing, It's Isaiah 30 verse 3. I'm gonna get straight to the point. Excuse me. Now I'm sorry, verse 2. Now I start at verse 1, Salakia. Woe to the rebellious children, right? And I'm going to start, and I'm speaking to you Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and natives, right? Because the Lord is really speaking, to us. This is going to be a time of Jacob's trouble. Matter of fact, let me hit that 1 Peter 4 and 17. Because judgment is coming at the house of Israel, man. 1 Peter 17. Right? It says, for the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of the Most High. And if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel? Right? And what we seeing online, who's crying the most? The so-called fucking black woman, man. Her stamps gone. Bitch is getting 5 racks a month just in stamps. 12 racks. Then have a sprinkle of other nations crying, whatnot. Hell, you even had some dudes on there crying. But the point being, right, you seeing what? Who's getting hit the hardest, the most? The so-called black woman. Right? They'll be not the gospel, so they finna go through it, man. Right? We come to a time period and be like this. We come to a time period where the scriptures in the book of Lamentations 4 and 10, Salakia, talks about how women gonna be siding their own kids, man. Just like how it was in ancient times. Right? They gonna eat their own kids. That's how bad that food famine will hit. And that's how reliable that these women was depending on this system, so that when times like this arrive, they're not gonna know what to do. They don't know how to fast. But this is what happened when you obey not the gospel, right? The Lord said He gonna deliver you to the slaughter, man. Isaiah 65 and 12, right? So let me go back to that's crazy. I forgot where I was at. Boom. Isaiah 30. Call all Yahweh Shemel Shah. Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me. Right? Because the Lord putting us on game. Right? He putting us on game about what's finna go down. How to prepare yourself for these times. Right? It says, but not of me, and that cover what they covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. That walk to go down to Egypt and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. It says, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. Right? And what are we saying right now with the so-called black woman? Because that's mainly who is really fucking up. Out of the 12 tribes, man. It's tearing their ass up, man. Because what? Man, we're going to grab the scriptures. But it says they're going to lament for the teats, man. Right? That fruitful vine that they had is no longer there. So it's about to be a crash out month starting on the 1st. A lot of videos was going around with women talking about, we're just going to walk inside the store and just take. That's prophecy, man. They said they're going to take matters inside their own hands. They're going to disregard the kings and the princes, right? The presidents and the governments, man. Right? And with that being said, that's the easy way for them to bring in that martial law. That's the easy way to bring in the martial law and get everything ready for what? The new world order. Crashing the old system and rolling in with the new system. Right? In the face of that new system is really going to be that chip. Right? So let me go back to the videos, right? So this is what that stud. Oh, there's another video I want to play. This one. Bring the priest up out with that.
Americans, you'll need to be careful this weekend. Let me explain why. I don't know if you've noticed, but America is a powder keg right now, and pretty much all of us are holding the match. We're about armpit deep in a government shutdown right now. There's a bunch of federal workers not getting paid, and a bunch of people are about to lose EBT. Now, if EBT goes away this weekend, a lot of people have said that they're going to go raid their local stores and maybe even their neighbors' homes. They're going to feed their babies one way or another because that's America's responsibility. The taxpayers' responsibility is to take care of them, and if they're not going to do that through EBT, they're going to do that by donating their own stuff. That's the general sentiment. This weekend, we're going to have a ton of Americans that are going to go absolutely mass civil unrest this weekend, government responses are going to be a little bit slow because of, the government shutdown. What this means is we're in a period of very heightened vulnerability, and there's going to be a lot of bad actors out there on the streets taking advantage of it. You need to be very, very careful of where you go and when you go if this starts to pop off. If you see that EBT is actually getting canceled, you might want to stay home for a little bit. It could end up being nothing, but it could end up being the start. All I'm saying is be aware. This is a very dynamic environment, and you need to know what is happening around you. I love you. Pay attention. Be blessed.
As a matter of fact, let me go to the book of Ephesians, chapter 5, before I lose my thought. Because, it's being circumspect, man. Paying attention. Matter of fact, let me hit that one right quick, just to validate the point. Ezekiel 7 and 5 in the NLT. This is what the sovereign Lord says. Disaster after disaster is coming your way. The end has come. It has finally arrived. Your final doom is waiting. See? And a food famine is tough. I just brought out Lamentations 4 and 10. Right? When you read up in verse 9, it says, to die by the sword is better than dying by hunger. Fruits pine away from the fruits of the field. Roughly paraphrasing. But your stomach, eat your body eating itself from the inside out is crazy, excruciating pain. But back in the book of Ephesians, chapter 5 and 15, it said, being circumspect, man. It says, see then that ye walk circumspectly, right? And we break down circumspectly all the time. Meaning it's a full circle, And when you spectacly, right? It's what you spectating. So you looking around, paying attention. You spectating, right? It says, but not as fools, but as wise, right? It won't be wise to sit here and go to Walmart knowing that it's billion other folks out here, folks shooting, folks stealing. It's not wise, man. And like he said, they're going to people's homes. They're going to people's homes, man. Hey, that's prophecy itself. Let's grab that. In 2 Ezra chapter 15, in verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. See, that EBT can definitely trigger this, man. A man should have no pity, right? A person not going to be sparing your life because you got 4-5 kids in the house. Hell, he only got one child, and he ready to do whatever for his one child or she. People, it better be a dog-eat-dog world, right? And since I didn't bring it out, let me go back up and bring this out. 2 Ezra chapter 15, verse 15. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. Right? Civil unrest. Right? We know that martial law is coming down the pipeline. We see that with ICE. You got people fighting against ICE. So how much more when that food come in the mix? Right? People gonna be fighting against each other. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. Right? So they're not going to care what the like I said, the presidents, the government say. Right? They're going off what they know. They tired of living check to check, ain't got the funds to pay for the food. They're gonna take it out of their own hands. Right? Let me go back to this video. Matter of fact, let me finish this off. Ephesians 5 and 16, redeeming the time because the days are evil. See? The days are evil that we in. Let me play these last two videos. Where could they go hand in hand?
Mind my business, but they sending out the notification today that you have 1 week to use your EBT card, SNAP benefits card, or whatever, SNAP cash. As of November 1st, the cards will be cut off. Okay? They are also saying that if you have money on the cards and you do not spend it before November 1st, you will be asked out. Spend that
Right, because she really ain't talking about nothing for the last 30 seconds. You know, but the main point she was saying, you know, everybody first. Right, really, they're already telling you, it already been made known. You know, but I was watching the comment section and everybody calling her cap, like she just talking. You know, so Shawty went to the actual site and did another video. You know, so I'm gonna go into it.
I usually mind my business, y'all, but I had to make this video because a lot of people keep calling me a liar, saying that I'm lying about Georgia Department of Human Services. You see this, EBT IVR, temporary offline, they already cut it off. Right here, what does that say? USDA has informed DHS there's insufficient funding to cover November SNAP benefits. Federal shutdown continues. Based on the guidance from USDA, SNAP recipients will continue to receive benefits issued to their cards prior to November the 1st. Hold on, let's keep reading. What does that say? Let's read it. Read it out loud with me. Read it with me. I'm pointing at it for y'all dumbass. Y'all want to come in here and call me a liar, but y'all don't go and research nothing. Cards will not work beginning November the 1st. Just so y'all can see that. Let me get out quick so y'all can see that. Y'all see that? SNAP recipients can use their funds on their EBT cards. But based on current USDA guidance, November the 1st, it will be cut off, as I said. Now, why is this got me mental? What is this?
Right, so hey man, it's about to get real, man. Right, the Lord talk about, you know, Matthew chapter 10, a man's foe shall be there of his own household. So how much more a person to their neighbor, to a person they don't know? You know, it's finna get real slimy out here, man. Matter of fact, I'm gonna close off on that scripture. Second Ezra chapter 6, Salakia, and 22 and 24. It says, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, the full storehouse shall suddenly be found empty. And this right, you can go back to the other video with the appeared looking like Edomite, you know, still in the groceries, right? Because once they get rid of the store, looting the stores, right, they coming for people, man. You know, so if somebody pull up to the store and they can be like, well, fuck, I wouldn't go for that person. He got everything in his shit, in his button, you know. That's what they're gonna be doing next, right? It can go from looting from all the Costco's, the Sam's Club, Walmart, whatever, Publix. So after that, what, they going to the house, right? Verse 24. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear. With those that dwell therein, the springs of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. See, that's heavy because what we said, they should lament for the teats, right? All that stuff is going to shrivel up, man, right? The Lord said he's going to break the staff, you know, that support system, and that's what he's doing. Trump got done coming with the EBT, and he come with the housing situation, you know. So that's all I want to go into on this lesson. You know, Lord willing, it's edifying. I'm going to close up by giving honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh, Shem Yahushua, Shem Krakadas. Shalom.